If your aim sucks in Call of Duty Warzone, then today's video is going to help you because I'm going to be showing you 3 tips to get better at aiming in Call of Duty Warzone. So let's jump straight into the video here. So the first tip is by going into the firing range with your loadout. So right now I have the Ram 7 and the HRM 9. So what you want to do first for every single loadout that you have, you want to test out the recoil pattern on this window right here. So what you're going to do is just shoot this window and not control the recoil at all. And what this does is it gives you the recoil pattern for this weapon with this specific attachments that you have on it. So as you can see here, it goes up and straight to the right a little bit. So in order to control this recoil pattern, you're going to want to pull down and slightly to the left while shooting this weapon to control the recoil. And it'll look something like this. As you can see here, the recoil pattern is completely controlled. Our aiming is perfect. We're shooting straight shots here. And that is really important when you're shooting people because you want to be able to control the recoil so your gun's not going in the air. You want to have it set on that target when you're shooting them. Same thing for SMGs or any weapon in the game. Test out the recoil pattern here with the attachments. As you can see, the recoil pattern for this SMG is a bit different than the Ram 7. So we're going to have to pull down and slightly to the right in order to control the recoil pattern for this weapon with these attachments. And as you can see here, my shots are straighter and better. And then once you do that, once you know the recoil pattern and you're able to control the recoil pattern, then you can shoot these dummies for a little bit. Make sure you put on 3 plates here. And just practice controlling the recoil pattern. And in the top left corner, it says your accuracy. Try to get your accuracy above 65% before practicing other weapons. So this is what I like to do. Every time there's a new meta or a new meta loadout, I'll do this. I'll test out the recoil pattern, try to control it here, and then try to practice on the dummies until I get at least 65% accuracy. Personally, I like to have higher than that, but whatever the number is for you, I think 65% is a good starting point for most people. And then I'll just do this until I'm comfortable with the weapon and meeting that 65% accuracy. I go to each stand over here. I go to the first one, second one, third one, and I just keep practicing until I feel comfortable shooting each of these weapons. And I'll do the same thing with the SMG as well. And that's how you get better at controlling your shots when you're playing this game. You want to control the recoil pattern. You got to first know the recoil pattern and then practice on the dummies here. And if you want the dummies to move while shooting, you can do the same thing here. You can have them move while practicing. So that's tip number 1, and let's go on to tip number 2. So tip number 2 is called crosshair placement, also known as centering. So essentially your crosshair is basically the thing that's in the center of your screen right now, this little crosshair, we like to call it. So what you want to do is always have it centered properly. And what that means is you don't want to be running around like this. Obviously, if you're running around like this with your crosshair all over the place, it's going to be hard to be ready to shoot someone. So for example, like this guy right here. If I'm running like this, with my crosshair all messed up, it's going to take longer for me to pull down my mouse onto this target. Whereas if you have good crosshair placement, aka centering, you always want to have your crosshair in the center of your screen. You always want to be looking in the center of your screen. You don't want to be looking down or up or anything like that. You always want to keep it leveled in the middle. And always want to keep it side to side here, just like this. You don't want to be looking up or anything. So this is what good crosshair placement will look like if you're trying to kill this guy right here. So you know that guy's right there. You would go like this. Boom. You're ready to shoot instantly. Instead of going like this and then turning to shoot, you already put your crosshair perfectly where the person is going to be. Now, you're not going to know where the person is. So a good rule of thumb is to always clear your corners. So for example, right here, let's say someone's right here. I am going to have my crosshair centered on this wall right here. We're having it on this wall just in case someone is ready to pop out, or just in case when I pop out there's someone here already. So as you can see, my crosshair is always onto this wall right here. It's not looking over here and then turning to shoot someone here. It's just ready for anyone that is coming around this corner. Boom. Or when I'm about to jump the corner, boom, I'm already prepared for a person if there is a person there. So it's basically clearing your corners, and you always want to be ready. So there's a guy here, guy here, guy here, always jumping out, clearing your corners, getting ready for anything that might happen. And when you're prepared and you have good centering, you're going to be able to shoot the person first before they shoot you. And that's really helpful in Call of Duty because the TTK is so fast in this game. It's always good to be ready and prepared to shoot someone, because if you're just looking up here and then someone's shooting you, by the time you turn around to shoot them and react, you're dead, because the time to kill is too fast in this game. So you always have to be prepared when turning around corners. You always want to have your crosshair in a good placement, and that is tip number 2. That is centering. It's extremely important. So tip number 3 is going to be you implementing tips 1 and 2 into a private match here. So if you have Modern Warfare 3, you can play a private game. I like to do team deathmatch on training facility, and then I'll change the game mode. I'll change the time limit to 45 minutes. I'll make the score limit 250, and then I will make sure we have armor enabled because we're trying to replicate Warzone. So we're going to have spawning in with 150 armor plus 150 health is 300 health total. That's the same amount as a fully plated person in Warzone. So you want to do that. Turn the kill cam off, and then everything else, just enable the maximum amount of ammo. And then what you do here is just put 3 enemies on the other team here, and then just start the game. Once you're in the game, then you can practice tips number 1 and 2. You can practice controlling your recoil pattern, practice your crosshair placement, your centering, and just run around the map with your weapon. You'll get used to your weapon in no time. If you're trying to get 200 kills, you can probably do that in 20 minutes, and in no time you'll be able to get used to the weapon that you're trying to practice before you hop into Warzone or any Call of Duty game. So just run around with your SMG, practice your centering, practice your aiming, and practice your long range shots as well if you want. And another cool tip is, if you really want to practice getting good at headshots, you can turn off damage on other parts of the body and just put headshots only on in the game settings. And what that'll force you to do is get used to shooting headshots. I used to do that as well, but I don't really do that anymore because I kind of got used to just aiming for the head all the time after doing that drill for a few weeks. But that's also a very good drill. You can also use that drill to practice knife throws, because knife throws in Warzone are one-shot headshots just like that. If you throw a knife to someone who's fully plated in Warzone, you throw it at their head, they're basically dead. So that's a good way to practice your knife throws. It's a good way to practice your headshots as well. And I used to do this all the time in Modern Warfare 2 because I feel like shooting guns in Modern Warfare 2 was a lot more difficult. There was a lot more visual recoil. Your screen was shaking like crazy. But now it's a lot easier on the Modern Warfare 3 guns. So I don't really practice this anymore. All I like to do is just, before I play Warzone, I'll shoot in the firing range before a game starts for about 5 to 10 minutes. I'll do both my weapons. I'll practice my SMG and my AR for the day, and then I'll just hop into a game of Warzone. And yeah, that's it. These are the 3 tips that I think will help you improve your aiming a lot. And in my next video, I'm going to talk about movement mechanics, because there's a lot of advanced movement in this game that the average person doesn't really know about. So I'm going to teach you guys some movement things in the next video. And if you found this video helpful, make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow me on Twitch. I live stream there almost every day at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And thanks for watching. Hit that sub button. Peace!